Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to get back to this albatross around my neck here. I assume that's where albatrosses go, I don't know. And we're going to deal with the Optimus DCT-2000 again. We're going to try to get a little further down the diagnostic rabbit hole with this thing and maybe get something to work on it finally. I doubt it's going to happen, but we can try. I've taken full anti-static precautions this time. As you can see, I got a wrist strap on this time. I didn't have it for the last time because I'm usually pretty good at figuring out exactly when the static potential is getting too high for me to work on electronics, but for this thing, I thought maybe I should take a little more seriously my anti-static procedures here, so that's what we're going to do today. Heck, we've already found multiple problems with this thing, multiple bad connections, and I'm sure there's a lot more of them to find. So today we're just going to concentrate on the read-write board and trying to get the audio out of that thing. If it's just analog, that's making progress. But currently we have no analog at all or digital, so that is what we're going to do now. Now, Philips in their service manuals recommends that when you deal with the or disconnect these heads on these DCC machines, you have to protect them from static by shorting across the pins with a paper clip or something like that. I didn't do that last time because I didn't really have any way of doing that really well, but I'll tell you right now, usually if you avoid touching the pins on these connectors or on these ribbon cables, it's usually pretty safe. But I am going to take the proper precautions this time. I've got a couple of metal dealies here that I have tested for continuity, and they work. Or they will work in terms of a paperclip type trick. And I'm just going to clamp it down with one of these binder clips. There, that should keep it happy, I think. I don't know for sure. But the other issue is here, I don't want to put a lot of stress on this cable, so I'm going to have to hold that while I get the read-write board back out of this thing. I have schematics printed out for the Philips DCC-900 read-write board. Those will come in handy. I don't think there's a one-to-one correlation here with the Philips and the Optimus, but the two are close enough that it should work. And I think I'm going to replace my two green audio grade capacitors with normal bipolar capacitors that I have now, because I want to use those on other things. I don't really want to use my audio grade stuff on this. And we have to depopulate all the capacitors that we've got installed. Have to do this in order to figure out exactly where all the traces go. Otherwise you'll never figure things out. Or I'll never figure things out. And I'm going to shut off the soldering iron for now, and we're going to pull this ribbon cable out. And I have to be careful here because one end of this ribbon cable is not very good. You have to be careful with these, otherwise these blue strips will separate from the ribbon, and then you're in for a bad time. Okay, so I'm going to bring out my new toy. This thing. I am not doing this without such a toy. I'm just going to go like this. The last thing I want is to obstruct these tiny vias and render myself unable to actually check on some of these things.
Albatross!
But first things first, we got to figure out whether or not this jumper wire actually makes it to the rest of the chip. Just try and put them down in front of me here. I don't know if you can see anything. There, maybe that gives you a better look. Probably not. Okay, there's the 5-volt read. Pins 4, 21, and 36, it looks like. Yes. I was so impressed with the needle probes I got for the ESR meter that I bought another set just for the multimeter. I love these things. Okay, pin 4. See if I can get on this here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. No connection. Next one is pin 21. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3. Well, there's a connection there. What pin is that, I wonder? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's pin 9. Where does pin 9 go on the schematics? That is wrong. Should be pin 10. Let's see. Something's not right here. That's pin 9 right there. See, and the 5-volt read is supposed to be on pin 10. What is going on here? Something is screwy. Did I solder my jumper to the wrong pin, I wonder? Okay, so we know pin 4 is supposed to be on the 5-volt read. Am I counting the wrong pins or something? Suppose I could be. Okay, so I was actually checking pin 36. Figures. I'm just not used to dealing with these types of integrated circuits. So let's try this again. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Good connection there. So we need pin 21 next. Okay, that connection is missing. I think. Pin 21 is no bueno. So I need to do another jumper wire for sure. Just double checking. Yeah, that connection's open. Goes down to this via. Okay, I'm gonna need to flip it over to figure out exactly where that via goes and whether or not I've got an actual connection there. All right, I've got my eyes on it, and I hope I don't take my eyes off of it, because if I do take my eyes off of it, problem city. Okay, let's see. I think that via, let me double check. Okay, it's the lowest one on this side, so it's the uppermost one on this side, right there. I know you can't see it, my apologies. but I just need to try and figure out where this trace goes. Okay, we got 2 vias. We do have a connection between the vias on this side. Okay, let me see if I can memorize exactly where this goes on the other side here. Okay, I've got 4 vias in a line, starting about 1.5 inches, or maybe 1 inch. Sorry about that, didn't mean to bump you. 1 inch into the board, and I'm going to want the bottom one now. That's this one right here. So where does that little brat go? Well, that's good. And that's good. So where's the connection open? Actually, I'm betting it's probably between that via and the other side. Let me get this schematic stuff out of the way. And we'll do it this way. I need to check between vias, or check between the sides. If I can remember exactly which one I'm checking here. Sorry about that, didn't mean to bump you again. I'm just trying to move this mirror or this inspection thing around. So I'll go like that. God, this is really hard to see all this stuff. I need to use my magnifier in order to even see the via I'm testing. It's this one here. Actually, I'm on it from the other side. And yeah, that's where the connection's broken. Must have had some electrolyte get in there. So I got to do another jumper wire between that pin there and the one that's open on the other side. How am I going to do that? With great difficulty. But yeah, I'm going to fire up the microscope real quick and confirm that that's the problem. Well, it's one problem, I should say. All right, so I think I traced it finally. I was a little bit mistaken about where the traces go, but not by much. This is where the 5-volt read voltage starts, as of where my jumper wire is. It really starts somewhere over in here. I think it's this via that's corrupted, but one of them somewhere in there is. Anyway, the power goes from here underneath this resistor here, and there's 2 traces. One of them comes up, I think, over here, and then ends up at this pin here, which we do have a connection to. Then the other one directly next to it goes over here. I'm trying to see it to trace it, and it's really hard. It comes up to this via right here, and I've determined that one is good, I think. Or no, wait, maybe that's the bad one. I'm confused. Anyway, it comes over to this capacitor, and it continues over here, and it just sort of runs up here and then stops and does nothing else, I think. Not exactly sure. Anyhow, all I know is that there's no connection between here and here. So I'm going to solder a jumper wire to this capacitor right here. This is C101. I'll show you where it goes. C101 is right there. And you can see it is supposed to connect to the 5-volt read voltage. So that's where I'm going to solder to, is C101, my new jumper wire. It's going to go from there probably to this capacitor lead here, because I don't want to tack down too many wires to this one. It's already a nightmare as it is. Anyhow, let me get to that. I'm probably going to run out of jumper wires on this thing. So the new jumper wire is in. I'll have to do some finagling when I go to reinstall those capacitors, but right now I just want to make sure that I have a good connection between all of the pins that are supposed to be connected here. And hopefully my memory's good enough today that I can remember exactly which ones I gotta check here. What? There should be a connection now. Why no connection? There was one before, I thought.
Albatross, 2 chalk ices, please. I haven't got chalk ices!
I may have misread the traces. I'm going to have to double check this. So I think I found a better place to solder that wire to. I couldn't conclusively tell exactly where that thing is supposed to be, but I think we have a very bad via right here that is not passing the signal either from either end of the trace. So hopefully I've got everything now. Yes, it is fine now. We have a connection. I'm on one side of C134, which is exactly what it's supposed to be. Not my prettiest soldering job ever, but it'll do the job. Provided there are no shorts, that is. Hold up, I think that's in the circuit too. Yes, C197, the missing capacitor, appears to be in that same chain. So I could use that land instead of C134 maybe. That's if I can determine whether or not the trace actually goes there. Maybe it's best if I leave that alone. But now we've got 5 volts read on every single pin that's supposed to be connected here, I think. Let me just triple check. Because when you're dealing with traces this small, it's always good to triple check. Okay, 4, 21, and 36. That's what we need. That's 36. (36) and 21 are fine. Pin 4 is fine. Now, I'm not done yet. I'm going to go off camera now and I'm going to start checking the rest of these voltage inputs here just to make sure every voltage is correct, and I want to make sure the RD mux is fully connected throughout the chain as well, because if there's anything I want this to do, it's to play and record digital tapes. But I might check the audio as well. But yeah, we're making progress a little bit. So you guys aren't going to believe this, but I found another open connection right here. This is the audio input for the right channel, I do believe, and there was a broken connection right at the land. So I managed to do a solder bridge and restore that. This one up here is C119. This is for the left channel. It's good. I've checked it. So, yeah, and I've checked RD mux. It comes off of pin 3 right here. I've traced it all the way back. It seems to be making a good connection, but I'm not sure. It's filtered by C143 here. This is where it comes to on the bottom via this via here, and that's fine. So yeah, I'm thinking it's probably time to reassemble and see what comes back to life on this unit. So how about I do that now? Nothing there for analog. Try digital one more time. Nope, nothing. Scope time. Okay, so forgive me if it's a little weird. I've got things set up here, but I figured you'd want to watch the scope rather than look at where I'm probing. I have to concentrate on that stuff anyway, so. Alright, I'm just reminding myself which is play and which is stop on the front panel. I've got power connected, I've got the scope hooked up, I think. Probe in hand, and we're going to try digital tape first. It's checking tape right now. Okay, playing. I'm going to go right to RD Mux. If I can see it. And I can't because I gotta take my glasses off. Ah, crap, still nothing there. All right, we're still not getting any digital off the board. Great. Ejecto digitalis. Analog next. Do we at least have that? I'm looking at the schematics off camera. Pin 18 and 16 at the ribbon cable. Playing now. Pin 18 is easy because it's the one on the end. Well, I certainly don't see anything there, do you? Yes, 18 and 16 are still dead, which means we fixed nothing today. What a shock. I'm like so surprised and stuff. Now it is still playing. So what we're going to do, having just shut off the scope, is move it gently forward. More gently than that. I'm going to try and set you up here. I just don't know how to do this properly, or very well, so forgive me if it's off camera here. We're going to check for our 5-volt read voltage, which should be there at my jumper wire again. I think we might have lost our 5-volt read voltage again. That may be the issue. Is there something dragging it down over here, I wonder? Where my jumper wire is. Can I even check that? Probably not. It was working before. It's obviously not now. 3.4 volts at the audio board. So it should be there. I just cannot see, and you cannot see. I apologize, but it's really hard to test this. So, update. I got a little smart off camera, and I decided to do some more voltage checking. First, I went down to the power supply here, checked every voltage coming out of it. Seems like everything's there and working, even though I don't know exactly what voltage assignments there are. And then I decided to do something a little more drastic. See, what I did was, I started checking the voltages at these pins down here, especially the one for the read voltage, which is, I remind you, supposed to be 5 volts. And I have confirmed now that it is supposed to be 5 volts. I got into the data sheet for the read chip, and sure enough, it's got to have 5 volts, or at least 4.5. So I got down in there and checked right here and got 0 volts. Or actually, no, that's not quite right. I got like 15 or 14 millivolts, which might as well be 0 volts. And I thought that was strange because I kept getting 3.3 volts back here at the read-write board. And even back down in here where that jumper wire was. So the way I got smart was, I took that jumper wire off for the 5 volt read voltage. You can see it dangling right here. I left it connected down there where the ribbon cable is on the correct pin. And what I did was, I took this ribbon cable off and then I powered the machine up and checked the voltage on that wire. Sure enough, 4.4 volts. So that jumper wire does not need to be there. That's one thing that this experiment told me. The other thing this experiment told me is that something is pulling down the 5 volt read voltage, and that something has to be on the read-write board yet. So, in part 3, I'm going to have to find out exactly what's doing that. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think it's my jumper wires. I double-checked and triple-checked those connections, and nothing's shorting on anything. So either there is a component failure, or something I missed. That's the only 2 possible explanations for this. And I'm very concerned that the component failure is the read chip itself. So, but yeah, I'm not ready to call it on that one yet. We're going to have to get back in here and do some more checking and testing, and I'll have to fight with the read-write board some more, but yeah. This thing is just a piece of crap, ain't it?
I think I can smell shite.
I'm sorry, but this thing is just junk. Anyhow, I guess that's going to be it for today, guys. This is probably going to be Wednesday videos. Usually I reserve Wednesdays for photography videos, but I haven't been doing much photography lately, so might as well use it for this piece of crap. But yeah, that's where we are now. We're making progress, but not very good progress. Anyway, see you next time.